Today's episode of HigeHiro feels like there was some content that was cut. It feels like there was a lot of context that we were missing. As far as the whole SAYU gets a job at the convenience store, there was no lead up to, meeting Asami. There was none of that. Maybe there wasn't cut content, maybe there was, we don't know. Goto is obviously leading on Yoshida, right? That is a clear-cut thing. She sees that he's getting along with Mishima and all this stuff, and he's not paying her as much attention as he used to, so we see where that's going, but I'll get into that a little later. What's going on, everybody? It's Damo Senpai, and we are here to cover episode 4 of HigeHiro. It was a rather interesting episode because of all the things that I said leading up to this introduction. I told you guys before, but we are doing a giveaway at 10,000 TikTok followers, but the key to the situation is it's going to be held on YouTube. So if you are on TikTok and you're watching this, you're gonna have to come over to YouTube. Once we hit that 10,000 follower mark, then we'll talk in further detail. But for now, just understand that there's the giveaway that is going to be happening. As for all of you who have already come over from TikTok, I appreciate every single one of you for making your way over here. It is 1,000,000% appreciated. I have a lot of bigger things planned for this channel, but we have to grow. We have to keep going. We have to push further than we ever have when it comes to content, when it comes to our community, when it comes to, people coming here and supporting me. We gotta make this support group large. But we are on the road to 3,000 subscribers, so if you are new to the channel and have yet to subscribe, make sure you hit the link tree. That link tree will help you find me on all socials, and it'll help you subscribe to the channel. Subscribing is free. It's free of charge. All it requires is your time. So go ahead and click that subscribe button. Like I said, it's free. It's not a Twitch subscribe where it costs like $5 or, an Amazon Prime, which is technically $5, but it's free. It's not a subscription to a Patreon, which costs money. It's free. So the more y'all support me with free, because like I said, it's free, the more we can do with this channel. But let's dive into this HigeHiro episode because I have a lot of questions and I have a lot of remarks that I need to make about this episode. So we start the episode off with SAYU saying, hey, I'd like to get a job. She asked Yoshida, I want to get a job. And Yoshida's like, okay, so where are you trying to work at? And she's like, oh, the convenience store, like right down the street. And he's like, you know what? That's cool. Go ahead, get you a job because it's going to help you in the long run by not being cooped up in the house because, I don't think being cooped up in this house as much as you are is good for your mental state. And then we immediately jump into she's working at the convenience store already, right? We didn't get anything in between. I feel like there's something missing there. If you read the manga, let me know. I feel like something was missing there, but we'll talk about that later on at the end, like as far as my overall feeling of the episode. There we meet Asami, right? We meet Asami and she's really dope. Yuki, Asami, whatever we gonna call her. I'm just gonna stick with Asami because I feel like that's easier to remember for me. So we meet Asami and she's high-spirited, high-strung, really old school, I would say. Even though she says her and SAYU are the same age, I feel like she might be capping, but that's neither here nor there. And her and SAYU hit it off, right? SAYU's being super polite at the job and all that stuff. And she's like, look, man, we the same age. You don't gotta be on all this polite type shit. You can just be yourself around me. And SAYU ends up spilling the beans about, I'm staying with somebody. He's like a brother, but, he's not my brother. He's like a father figure, but not my father. Asami is obviously picking that up, right? Asami's just like, oh, well, I can see what's going on here. I can put 2 and 2 together. And she ends up wanting to meet Yoshida. Now, this is where things get a little all over the place, right? Because it's a lot going on. So we got Asami and SAYU at the crib. So we flash forward to Yoshida being at work, getting a text message like, look, my coworker Asami wants to meet you. She's forcing herself in this, that, and the third. Yoshida sees that and he's like, oh, shit. And Mishima pops up like, oh, is that SAYU? And Hashimoto was just like, oh, so you told Mishima? It was a whole smorgasbord of mixed feelings because Hashimoto was like, oh, so you told Mishima. I thought you weren't gonna tell nobody. Mishima was like, oh, what the fuck? Why does Hashimoto senpai know this? And when you look over in the distance, you see Goto being all in the biznai, right? All in his business. I was feeling Goto at first, right? I'm talking about me as a man. I'm like, damn, she fine as hell, fat titties, very seductive looking. Like she has a seductive sense about her. And I'm into that type of shit, but that's just me. But we see her for who she is, right? You can tell who she is. So we'll get into that in a minute. We flash forward into Yoshida pulling up at the crib, seeing Asami, and Asami is, you know, gauging his character. And it's like, man, you know, he seems like an old guy, but he's kind of hot. And it's crazy. Asami picked it apart, right? She picked apart all the shit that was popping. She already knew he was lying about, oh yeah, I'm like her older brother. I've known her since she was a kid. We were childhood friends. And obviously they couldn't be childhood friends because they're like 10 years apart. Asami picks that apart. They have dinner and Asami's like, look, Yoshida, would you like to walk me home? Type shit. And Yoshida's like, yeah, sure, why not? So he ends up getting ready to walk her home. Sayu's like, man, yeah, let me go with you. And Asami at first was like, yeah, don't worry about it. He's got it. And Yoshida's like, yeah, I got it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. On the way to walking her home, they're having a discussion and she's just like, look, I know you're capping, right? I know you lying. So you don't have to really tell me what's going on, but I'd like you to tell me what's going on. Yoshida spills the beans and is just like, you know what? If she sees me as a big brother, then that's just what it is. I don't feel comfortable disclosing stuff about people if they don't feel, you know, if they don't feel like they want to talk about it at this point. Asami assesses the situation and is just like, oh yeah, you know what? You're a good guy. Just know that SAYU is good at using all sorts of different smiles. How the hell does she know that, first and foremost? Where did you get this? Where did you get this knowledge? How did you know this? That was a big question for me, because it's like there was no way that we would understand that in the few frames that you guys were talking at the convenience store. You made it seem like you've known each other for a long time, which could potentially be the case. You know, she could be somebody that she met from when she was younger, just doesn't remember, but that's besides the point. I have some questions about Asami, right? She's like, I wouldn't want you to see where I live at. What if Asami is homeless? What if Asami stays in the same apartment complex? I have so many questions about the Asami character, but for now, I fucks with her. I like her. I think she's really cool. And the most important thing that Yoshida said was, please be Sayu's friend, because that is something that SAYU needs. She has been by herself in these streets, and she needs not only Yoshida as, you know, a guardian, but she needs an actual friend so she can, you know, integrate into society a little easier than she would have if she would have only known Yoshida. Now, this is where things get crazy, because we're seeing manipulation at its finest. Yoshida's getting ready to wrap up at work. He tells SAYU, like, look, I'm about to be on my way home for dinner, and here comes Goto just staring at his phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, Yoshida, what's going on? So she invites him out again. I don't know how Yoshida doesn't pick up on this. This dude's an idiot. He's so entranced, right? This is the manipulation at work, because he is entranced by her. He's already been shot down a few times, and, you know, he's still not giving up, right? Still on the road to trying to get Goto to go out with. So they're out on the town. They're having dinner. Mishima notices that they leave, and Mishima's just like, damn, I brought you a coffee and whole. We was about to kick it. I was gonna invite you out type shit. They're out having dinner. You could just see it in her face, man. She is working the table, right? She is working the mound. She is like a pitcher. She's like a Cy Young Award winner, right? Just knows what the fuck she's doing, and she's got Yoshida by the balls, man. She's got him, and she's just flaunting the breast and got the shirt unbuttoned a little bit, starts talking her shit, and Yoshida is just, you know, head over heels. He's all into it. But the thing that I admire about Yoshida is he's cognizant of it a little bit, right? So he's not 100% buying it, but he's not like 100% denying it. So there's still some shit going on. She's just like, look, I'll tell you what you want to know if you tell me what I want to know. And Yoshida's like, deal. And he's like, why are you so worried about me? You worry about me more than anybody else at this goddamn job. Why are you so worried? Especially if you don't like me, because you've told me that before. And she's like, oh man, it's just my intuition, but I'm gonna be honest, I really do like you, in such a manipulative fashion, right? It seems like she's used to this, right? She's one of them people that she's so used to having everybody's attention because of how beautiful she is, that when somebody that she's got wrapped around her finger starts going elsewhere, she gets a little jealous and tries to reel them back in just so she knows she got somebody else. After the conversation, it was like, oh, if you like me so much, then sleep with me. That's what Yoshida was like. And she was like, oh, well, you know, I'm a virgin, but for you, I definitely And Yoshida's flipping out like, what the fuck? Why is this so easy? What's going on? Why? You know what? You're gonna have to ask me out, right? I'm not asking you out. You're gonna have to ask me out. While all this is going on, SAYU is at the crib and she starts getting weird emotions because she thinks that she's gonna get abandoned again. You know, Yoshida texts her like, look, I'm bringing Goto home tonight, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, here we go. It's gonna happen again. She flips out. She gets these visions, right? She gets a stream of memories of what looks like her attempting suicide at some point and, you know, going through the motions of with all those dudes that she was staying with and all that stuff. She's getting all that. And Yoshida's just like, nah, you don't have to leave. Goto wants to meet you. So I feel like he spilled the beans about SAYU. For me, this is gonna fuck a lot of shit up. Well, to me, right? This is gonna fuck a lot of shit up because now Goto is gonna have something over him. Like, look, you can't keep your attention on all these other girls. Just keep your attention on me. If you don't do that, I'm gonna snitch about what's going on type shit. Like I said, she is a manipulator. If you can't see that, you are blind, my friend. And the episode ends on that note. Now, I want to get into like what's gonna happen after this. Asami is obviously gonna be around for this. Mishima's obviously gonna be around for this. There's gonna be a lot of feelings going around because I feel like SAYU is gonna be able to see through Goto because obviously Yoshida can't because he's wrapped around her finger for the most part. Asami is gonna know some shit is going on with them. I feel like at some point during that little meeting, either SAYU is gonna run off and go find Asami or Mishima just to talk about this shit. They're gonna confront Goto about it because there's no way that anything that she said to Yoshida was true at all. Just know I'm looking forward to next episode. Leave a like if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new. This episode was a lot and I feel like there was some things that were missing. I'm gonna read a little bit into where it's at in the manga, like this portion, just to see if I get any more clarity on a lot of the shit that's happening. I want to thank all of you who continue to support me because as long as you guys support me, I'll continue to put out content and continue to grow as a content creator because once we start growing, once we get bigger, I can start doing more. So as always, it's your boy Damo Senpai, and I will catch you guys in the next one.